I'm going to speak from an operator's perspective, and an operator's perspective that had seen changes in our regulation governing our industry. Our industry started as an oil-centric industry, and I think it's important to bear that in mind to provide the right context for the direct implications of the PIA that has just been passed. What we see in the PIA is the first bold and courageous steps to create an enabling framework from both regulation, fiscals, and other bases to incentivize focused development on gas. And that is playing to our strength, because as a country, we're much more endowed in gas resources than we are in oil. If we went after our non-associated gas reserves, our reserves base is actually potentially north of 600 TCF. That's significant. So for the first time, we have now fiscals, we have an act that focuses and incentivizes on focused gas development. And for us, gas development is not just about earning additional revenue via export. It's the enabling capacity of gas to boost our economy as we make gas available locally for generation of power. Looking at Nigeria today, we are hugely underserved from the point of view of power generation. It's also about enabling the development of those gas resources as feedstock for the gas-based industries, and for which a lot of that is needed locally. So the import substitution of all those production happening locally and the way it frees up pressure on the economy is a huge incentive for us. But it's not just about that. Within that, we then also have now casting in stone various protocols around network access, sharing of infrastructure, the network code that allows operators to be able to share existing infrastructure and future infrastructure to make the molecules available for us to reticulate domestically. So we have a more clearer basis than before. What that then means for us is that a number of projects that we have contemplated prior to now that were not deemed bankable because some of these variables were not in place, we have certainty around them. And to the extent that gas continues to feature very prominently, even in the transition conversation as some call it a transition fuel, but it's still one of the developments that traditional lenders of capital are incentivized to lend for. It creates a very great opportunity for us as operators. And so for us, as Aradel Holdings, when we look into our development plan for the next 5 years, it's much more rich in gas development than it is in oil. And that's because of the enabling environment that the Act, which the Chief Commission Executive just spoke about, has engendered for us. So there's clearer certainty there right now. And we're beginning to see operators leaning towards taking investment decision. The last point I will make around what's happening in that space is, in the recent past, in the last 2 years, our industry had faced significant challenges in terms of evacuation of our production to the point of sale. But I would say that in the last 1 year, we have seen significant improvement as a result of the intervention from the regulators, from government security agencies, that is now allowing more of the production to make it to the point of sale and giving encouragement for us to make further investments.